Przepraszam, że to takie techniczne.
To jeden taki co chwilę pada.
Słucham?
Jeden z nich co chwilę pada.
No właśnie jeden tak, ale drugi wiem, że działa. Ale nie ma nas zbyt wielu. Ja zapytam na początek, czy Państwo czujecie się komfortowo, jeśli będziemy rozmawiać po angielsku bez tłumaczenia?
Tak.
Czy nie musimy tłumaczyć? Okay, so we can talk English.
Because Polish for me is very difficult.
But without translation, so we get more time to exchange, but without time to...
Everybody speak English? Or?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
French maybe?
No.
No French.
Ja tylko mam prośbę, żebyście mówili głośno, bo będziemy się nagrywać i ludzie to będą na YouTubie oglądać. Jak widzicie, no mamy tutaj takie tłumy, cała reszta to po
The
prostu...
meeting is going to be recorded, so we're supposed to speak loud.
Okay.
So yeah, what I will have to say is probably less important, so we talk to the microphone. I'll stick to my vocal cords. Well, I will try that you have.
It's broken. Doesn't work.
Okay, so we have 3 not working microphones, which is...
I think it's the battery or something.
But they were working.
Okay, let's not waste time on the microphone.
I love the microphones.
You can still keep it, have it,
Alright.
because people with microphones...
Is it better like that?
Yeah, to the photos, so that we were... So the festival is a professional place. It works very well.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest this morning is Alexander.
Again?
A wonderful comic artist whose first book, well, not his first book, but the first book to be published in Polish has just been done so by Scream Comics. And this is a great honor to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
And a great pleasure to talk to you and see you work. This is really something. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, please come to Scream Comics anytime today. There's going to be a chance to do so. And we're going to talk about Journey Through the Red Sea, which is the comic published. A work of fiction, or a work of memory, a work of journalism? What do you...
Maybe I can introduce myself and saying, so I'm French, so in France we've got a lot of old colonies in Africa especially, like Senegal, like Ivory Coast, like etc. etc. And I did an art school in Paris, and at that time in France we must do the military service. Have you got that in Poland?
It's
not
not
anymore,
maybe.
But it was a nightmare for me because I didn't want to do it. And by chance, the Ministry of Cooperation, we had that in France at that time. They were looking for people to go in Africa in cultural center instead of the military service. So I said, yes, I'm going. And I had this really good opportunity to go and spend 2 years of my life on the Red Sea in a country called Djibouti. Maybe you know, it's between Somalia and Ethiopia. It's a wonderful place.
That was at the turn of the 80s and 90s?
It was in '89, you know, when the war goes down in...
Yeah, we do know.
You heard of that period, probably. And it was fantastic, and because I did my job, was organizing exhibitions, painting exhibitions, and traveling around the country in small villages to meet people and to talk about comic strip and illustration, and so it was absolutely fantastic. And since that period, almost each year I'm going to Africa, at least once a year, and I stay especially in Djibouti, where the comic strip book is taking place. And I still have a lot of friends over there, so... And the story of the book, we can show you because...
it's coming.
It's coming, and I show you. It's a big, huge book. No, small. It's a true story. It's the story of a friend of mine who's a pirate hunter. Or what is a pirate hunter? In that area, there's a lot of pirates. Maybe you heard of that. Have you seen the movie Captain Phillips?
Yeah.
I don't know, with Tom Hanks. It's exactly the same thing. And I know very well the area. I'm going often in Ethiopia, in Somalia as well, in camps, in refugees camps, etc. And I've got this friend who's a pirate hunter. How can I explain that? He's got people from foreign legion or from all people from military services and specialists with guns, etc. And he takes these people and he put them on boats like petroleum boats or container
Yeah.
and he,
what kind of cargo boats?
where you put stuff, etc. And the pirates attack these boats, but my friend, as a pirate hunter, put guys on it with guns, and the pirates can't attack the boats. That's his job. So it's a story about that. But it's not only a story of fighting, etc. I'm not this kind of guy. There's some scenes like that, but it's most of the time a journey into Africa with a lot of watercolors as a sketchbook. If you can see sketchbook, I do sketchbook as well. So that's my great pleasure to have double pages. I will show you after, with just one drawing, one watercolor, and I put inside all my sketches. I sketch a lot on the field, and I just scan it and put it in the book. It's less work for me, and it's and I take a lot of pictures as well, and I put pictures, real pictures, I mean photographs, in the comic strip book, which is a bit strange for a comic strip book, but it gives reality to the book. It gives authenticity. I don't know if you understand that. So that's my my kind of way to do books. It's quite all the time a true story about my life and because my life is really interesting. Yeah, really interesting.
Well, going to Africa every year.
No, and I continue to travel not only in Djibouti, but I'm going at least 2 or 3 times a year in other African countries like Central Africa, Chad, Congo, etc., etc. So it's really something I need to go there and meet people, drawing and building stories about people on the field. That's really important for me.
And this reality effect, because I also know that you participate in documentaries where animation is used as well.
Animation?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Okay, so the internet lies, obviously.
No, I'm doing, we call it in France, reportage dessiné. I don't know if you understand that. Reportage is like journalism, but journalism with drawings. It's a bit different. A journalist go in Africa on refugees camp, etc. They took pictures, and they. My job as well as a comics reporter is also to go on the field and see people, asking questions to these people and to draw it. And I've done a lot of collaboration with magazines in France, with reportage dessiné, with journalism, with drawing. Like in ancient times when they have no cameras, they did it the same. And now nowadays we doing this again. There's another angle for journalism. It's not the scoop you can see on television. It's something deeper, according to me. Deeper because you met real people. You have time to spend time with them and to understand their problems and etc.
Well, generally in contemporary, whether it's a film, a documentary, or a comic, this kind of mixing of photographs and drawings is something equivocal. That's the famous documentary, animated documentary, Waltz with Bashir, where the guy cannot record people because they don't want to speak in front of the camera. Yeah. But they say, you can draw us, no problem.
Exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. Bashir, it's animation, it's cinema, but I do the same, but just in comic strip. So, and I never invent stories. say that? There's no romance, there's no invention, it's the truth. I have no imagination at all. I have no imagination. So I listen to people and I just listen to them and write what they say. Let's work.
Yeah, but you do use literature a lot. And
yes.
the journey for the, let's see, uses Henri de
Montfred. You know Henri de Montfred? It's a French writer.
From the turn of the century. Well, he started writing in the 20s.
Yeah, around the 30s.
Yeah.
Around the 30s with Joseph Kessel. Maybe you heard of Joseph Kessel. He's a really famous novelist and journalist. And at that time, in the 40s, he had to make a reportage about slaves. So someone in France told him, "Oh, you should go to Djibouti because there's a guy, Henri Montfred, he's using slaves and guns, traffic and everything. You should meet this guy." And there was a really great friendship between them. And Henri Montfred never used slaves, never ever. It's just a legend.
But he smuggled stuff from time to time, not humans, but he was involved in the drug business.
Yeah, he was opium, and a lot of things. He was a bad guy, but he wrote around 30 or 40 books about the Red Sea, around the Red Sea, which is fantastic. So
some of them were translated into Polish pretty quickly.
Right,
in the 30s, there was a study.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are not easy to come by, because it was a travel series, very popular at the time, so they are mostly destroyed by being overread by someone.
He was a fantastic guy. He was a spy for the British at that time during the war, but in Africa, in Addis Abeba against the Italians. So he's a really interesting guy. And I really like to put, as you said before, literature in my comic strip. I did one, you don't know, but in Chad, I spent 15 days on a pirogue, how do you say, pirogue? A small boat, without nothing. And I followed the steps of André Gide.
That one we know.
We know it. André Gide wrote a book in the 30s about Congo and Chad. He did the journey. At that time it was terrible because all the disease, the yellow fever, everything. He was really famous, really rich in France, and he decided to go in Africa, in the deep Africa, to see what the French people did with the local people. And so he brought. So I decided to follow his steps, and I'm the same. I took a pirogue and I follow the thing, and I wrote it. So there are some texts from André Gide from the 30s, and I make a parallel between today. Thank you very much, Camille. So that's the book. The boat you see here, we call it a boutre. It's the classical Yemenite boat for fishing, but it's also a boat for guns traffic and to hide pirates, etc. So it's really famous in the whole of Africa, and Somalia and Kenya as well. Sorry. As I said before, I can show you now. Alex, I will try to show you. No, it's okay. You see, I put real photographs in the comic strip book. I did these photographs, so it's my work as well in photographs, and all the sketchbook here is what I do when I'm on the field. So I just draw, and after that I scan directly my sketchbook, and I put it in the comic strip. Less work.
Looks cool.
It's cool. It looks cool, and I take a lot of pictures and I put it inside because it's like, of course, there's a story, there's an adventure story in the comic book, but it's reality. It's a big part of the comic book. It's reality, and putting photograph in a comic book gives authenticity, as I said before. So, and I like really much to break the, it's not really like a classical comic strip. I mean, we've got double pages, just one just small bubble, and that's it, and the rest is a lot of time drawing double pages like that with scrap.
Quotations of
De mon frais de quotation and scrap paper that I found in China. This paper I found here. So I mixed everything, and that's funny because all that, and you know, that's she's a woman I met in a bar in Djibouti. She was really nice. And I can't turn the page on the sketchbook because she's naked after, so I can't show you.
But talking about women, and after, because
yes,
you mentioned...
let's talk about women.
Okay.
Just another thing. That's a reportage I did on orphans. You know, orphans place, because all the time when I go to Africa, I take time for my job to draw and to write stories, etc. But I take at least 3 or 4 days each time to go in refugee camps or orphans area, etc. to make the children draw with me, and that's a part of my job for free. Obviously, it's just something. And that's my own children drawings. It's not I scan my children drawings and I put it in the comic strip. So I didn't pay my children.
Well,
sorry, I was taking my phone.
Well, that was the question somehow connected with André Gide as well, because he of course was interested in the colonial aspects of France being done,
Yeah.
but he was also interested in sexual explorations, homosexual mostly for him. But
Yeah,
still the eroticism and the East.
There's a funny story about him and Marc Allegret. Do you know Allegret? Allegret make cinema. He make documentary, and he became famous producing movies for the cinema in France. And André Gide and Marc Allegret was together at that time in the 30s. It wasn't so common, but they were in the deep Africa. And Marc Allegret made a fantastic documentary about the deep Chad and deep Congo, but it was all recreated. For example, the hippopotamus hunting. So he took, he made the documentary about hippopotamus hunting by local people, and he said, no way, it's not good. We do it again. And the African guy said, but no, we're hunting and we just kill a hippopotamus, it's not so easy. And Allegret said, yeah, no, we do it again, it's not like I like, etc., etc. That was the documentary at that time.
Yeah. With the drawing it's easier, you can just repeat the stuff. With the film it's more difficult. But still you do allow your characters to evolve into affairs. No, not in this book, but also on the Sacred Balthazar.
Le Périple de Balthazar.
Which was an adaptation.
Yes, it's an adaptation.
And it's a romance of kind of.
Yeah, I didn't invent anything. Balthazar is a romance from Amin Malouf. I don't know if you heard of this.
It has been translated, not this novel, but other.
Oh yeah, it's really famous. It's a prix Goncourt and also from the French Academy of Literature. It's really famous anyway. He's half Lebanese and half French. And in his story, in his novel, it's always a question of mixing a Muslim guy, a Jewish guy, a Catholic guy, and they fight all the time. They fight in his books, and at the end they're all friends. So I really like the idea, and I adapted in 3 books the Périple de Balthazar. It's a big, huge novel of 400 pages. And I had to do 3 books of 64 pages, so it was a great job to do. And it takes place in Alep, in Syria, in
1666.
Yeah, and it's in the 17th century, so it's really interesting. And it's a story about researching. Do you know maybe about the Quran? The Quran, you know the Quran, the book, the Muslim book, like the Bible, but for Muslim. And God's got 99 names. You knew that? No, you didn't. Allah Akbar, Allah the Great, Allah the Fantastic, Allah the...
You're going to recite the 99 names?
So, no, I don't. So, and Allah's got 99 names, but he's got an hundred's name. The real and the one who will find this 100's name is the real name of Allah, and He can save the world of the destruction, etc., etc. And all that story is about that, and it's really funny. It's really interesting, and they never found it. So. And this name is in a book, and it's all the story about following this book around the world, and that's really interesting.
I'm asking about women and sexual explorations of the East.
Do you have something to say?
No. I don't really. I'm curious. Those trips to Africa every year, they just torment my imagination. Okay. But also about this search for God. And Montfrère also wrote about his envy to the local people in Africa, who somehow still see the world as a place where gods live and thrive in every object. And he says, but Montfrère in the 30s, that I cannot do that. I'm a part of a civilization that lost this sanctity of life and sanctity. Do you, with your travels, also have this kind of thought about bringing some spiritual content back from your trips?
There's so many places that's incredible, because everywhere you can go, there's something absolutely fantastic to see, and you sit down and you look at what you have in front of your eyes, and you see. I don't believe really in God, but I don't know. For me, God is nature, is everything. And when you sit down, in fact, you have those spirits. There's something spiritual inside you. I don't know if it's God or something else, but there is. I had a spiritual experience in Lalibela. I don't know if you know it. It's in the north of Ethiopia. There's a lot of churches, but they caved it in the rock, in the mountain. I don't know if you saw that, or if you. There are churches in a cross shape, with a cross shape, and I don't know if it's the place or what else, but there's nobody, and you work between 12 churches like that inside the mountains. It's incredible, and there's this silence, and you feel something. I don't know what is it, but you feel something. Or I don't know. Sometimes I had a scene in my head. I'm sitting still in Ethiopia, but in south, close to Harar. Harar is a place where Arthur Rimbaud used to go as well, so it's fantastic. And I sit down on the riverside. There's no river, there's no water because it's too hot. It's just the wed, we call it in Africa, the wed. And suddenly you see one monkey, two monkeys, the mother with the children, and all the tribu, all the group. I don't know, 100 monkeys, maybe more than that, walking like a big family, and you sit down, and the sun is going down, and you see all the monkeys, and you just think about how we were. I don't know, millions of years ago, we were like that, just a group of monkeys walking, and it's just, you see yourself, I don't know how to explain that, but it's really fantastic, and like that. That's it. Where's the sexuality in that? You said we're going to speak about women, and we speak about monkeys.
You started, well, I want to talk about sex. You started with the monkeys. So
I like sex with monkeys now.
They record it. People are going to watch it on YouTube. So it's risky stuff to say. Do you have any questions on monkeys or anything?
Tak. Jak pojechał Czadu, to miał na celu oczywiście tam zrobienie jakiegoś reportażu, poznanie prawdy o tym, a chciałem spytać, jaką prawdę o sobie poznał, mierząc się z Afryką? Odbywając tą...
When you went to Chad, you were supposed to get into the country and get some kind of truth about this place and speak those people. But the question goes, what kind of truth about yourself, if any, have you discovered that?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. It's a question I ask myself all the time. Why I'm going all the time outside my country? Why I'm going in Africa all the time? Why? I have no answer. And to be honest, I've got a family. I've got 3 children at home, etc. So I have no reason to go out and to go outside and I don't know. I had this experience when I used to live in Djibouti for all that time, and the Africa is something you've got inside you after all, and I don't know. I need to go, and I'm going next month. I'm going again in Central Africa, in Bangui, which is really dangerous. It's a dangerous place, and you go to sleep with the guns, with the sound of guns around you. It's something. But I need to go. I need to meet people. I need to work with children over there because they have nothing. In Bangui, it's absolutely incredible. You know, we think about comic strip, we think about exhibitions, we think about art, etc., literature. Wow, it's beautiful. But there in Bangui, they get up and the only thing they think about is where can I find something to eat during the day. It's another world. We can't imagine if you don't stay on the country. You see the news on television about now, the actuality is about all the migrants, all that people were. And it's easy for us to say, oh, stay in your country, there's no space for us, there's no job here, I don't know, in Poland, but in France we said that, in Italy as well. The British, they built a wall in France against the migrants to go there, so that's incredible. But if you go in Africa and you see how these people live every day, you understand that. It's something really important, and I try to bring sometimes my children in Africa. It's not easy in that country, but at least I bring them in Kenya, which is a safe place, really safe place, Kenya is. But it's a beginning of understand something for them. They have to go. My duty is to bring them to see the world and to understand the world and to be a little bit more intelligent than other people. I mean, not intelligent is not the right word, but smart and open to the others. That's the real. I don't know. So I didn't answer your question, but
you answered it pretty well.
Okay, thank you. Voilà.
I see no more raised hands, and our time is unfortunately up. So thank you very much, and
Thank you.
see you at the Screen Comics.